The conference room on the 15th floor of Goldcrest Industries fell silent. 30 employees sat frozen in their seats as Manager Tobenna Adeyemi's voice boomed across the space, his finger pointed directly at a woman standing near the back wall. You. Yes, you in that worn-out Ankara dress. What are you doing in here? This meeting is for staff members only, not for cleaners or tea girls. The woman remained calm, her simple brown Ankara wrapper and white blouse a stark contrast to the expensive suits surrounding her. Her gray-streaked hair was tied back in a simple bun, and she wore no jewelry except for a small silver wristwatch. She adjusted her worn leather bag on her shoulder, but said nothing. Tobenna's face twisted with irritation. Are you deaf? I said this meeting is not for your type. Security should have stopped you at reception. How did you even get past the lobby? A few nervous laughs rippled through the room. Some employees looked away, embarrassed. Others pulled out their phones, pretending to be busy. Sir, maybe we should just continue with the meeting, whispered Kayamika, one of the senior accountants, touching Tobenna's arm gently. He shook her off. No, no, no. This is exactly what is wrong with this company. No discipline. No order. Just yesterday, I caught another unauthorized person trying to enter the executive floor. This woman probably came to beg for a job or sell something. The woman finally spoke, her voice quiet but clear. I am not here to sell anything. Then what? Tobenna demanded, his chest puffed out. You think you can just walk into a corporate strategy meeting because you feel like it? Do you know who I am? I am the operations manager of this entire Lagos branch. I have worked here for 12 years. I decide who enters this room and who does not. I see, the woman replied simply. You see? You see. 3 weeks earlier, the story had begun very differently. Mrs. Adaeze Okonkwo sat in her modest apartment in Yaba, staring at the television screen. The news anchor's voice filled the room as images of Goldcrest Industries' gleaming headquarters flashed across the screen. Breaking news this evening. Goldcrest Industries announces the appointment of a new chief executive officer. Mrs. Adaeze Okonkwo, a veteran businesswoman with over 25 years of experience in manufacturing and corporate management, will be taking over the position. However, Mrs. Okonkwo has requested that her photograph not be published, and she will be working quietly for the first month to observe company operations from within. Adaeze smiled softly and turned off the television. Her daughter, Chidinma, entered the living room with 2 cups of tea. Mama, are you sure about this plan of yours? Going into the company without announcing yourself? What if something goes wrong? Adaeze took the cup gratefully. My dear, that is exactly why I must do it this way. When I took over Dangote Manufacturing in Port Harcourt 15 years ago, everyone was on their best behavior because they knew the CEO was watching. But I never saw the real problems. I never saw how managers treated junior staff, or how decisions were really made when nobody important was looking. But Mama, this is different. Goldcrest has over 3,000 employees in Lagos alone. You could get hurt or embarrassed. Or I could learn the truth. Adaeze replied firmly. The board hired me to fix this company. Profits are down, employee satisfaction is terrible, and 3 major clients left last year. I cannot fix what I cannot see. Chidinma sighed. At least take security with you. No security. No driver. No expensive clothes. I will dress like an ordinary woman and walk through that company like a ghost. I want to see everything. And so, for 3 weeks, Adaeze did exactly that. She wore simple clothes and took public buses to the office. She watched from the sidelines as managers shouted at their subordinates. She saw how some employees were favored while others were ignored. She noticed the fear in people's eyes when certain managers walked past. But nothing prepared her for what she witnessed on that Tuesday morning in the 15th floor conference room. Adaeze had arrived early, dressed in her usual simple Ankara and blouse. She had heard whispers about an important operations meeting, and she wanted to observe how Manager Tobenna Adeyemi ran things. The employees had filtered in, barely noticing her standing quietly at the back. Then Tobenna entered, saw her, and everything exploded. Now, as she reached into her worn bag with Tobenna watching nervously, Adaeze pulled out a simple notebook and pen. Several employees gasped. Tobenna's face. Security. This is Manager Tobenna Adeyemi from Conference Room B. I need you to send someone up immediately. We have an unauthorized person disrupting our operations meeting. The security officer's voice crackled through the phone. Sir, can you describe this person? A woman, about 50-something years old, wearing cheap ankara. Looks like she wandered in from the market. The line went dead silent for 3 full seconds. Then the security officer's voice returned, trembling. Sir, what did you say she is wearing? I said a brown ankara wrapper and white blouse. Why does that matter? Just send someone up here now. Sir, please hold the line. Across the room, Adaeze had moved closer to Adaeze, his face covered in sweat. He whispered urgently, Ma, I am so sorry. I just received the email 5 minutes ago, with your photograph. I had no idea. Adaeze raised her hand gently. It is all right, Adaeze. Let this play out. Kayamika, the senior accountant, overheard the whispered conversation. Her eyes went wide with horror. She grabbed her colleague Afani's arm and whispered frantically. Within seconds, the truth rippled through the room like electricity. Phones came out. The internal email was forwarded and checked. Faces turned from curious to terrified. But Tobenna, still holding the phone and facing away from the room, noticed none of this. The security officer came back on the line. Mr. Tobenna, sir, I need you to listen very carefully. That woman you are talking about. Yes, what about her? Are you sending someone or not? Sir, that is Mrs. Adaeze Okonkwo. That is the new CEO. The phone slipped from Tobenna's hand and clattered onto the conference table. The sound echoed through the deadly silent room. Slowly, as if his neck had rusted, Tobenna turned around. Every single employee was now standing. Some had their hands over their mouths. Others looked like they might faint. Kayamika had tears in her eyes. And there, still standing calmly at the back of the room, was the woman in the simple ankara dress, watching him with those quiet, intelligent eyes. No, Tobenna whispered. No, no, no. This is not possible. The CEO is supposed to be, I thought the announcement said. The announcement said I would be observing quietly for my first month, Adaeze said, her voice still calm, but now carrying an unmistakable weight of authority. And observe I did. For 3 weeks, I have walked through this company. I have seen how people are treated. I have heard how managers speak to their subordinates when they think nobody important is listening. Tobenna's legs seemed to give way. He gripped the edge of the conference table. Ma, I did not know. I swear I did not know it was you. If I had known. If you had known, you would have treated me with respect, Adaeze finished for him. But because you thought I was just an ordinary woman, just a cleaner or a tea girl as you said, I was not worthy of basic human dignity. Is that correct? The room was so quiet you could hear the air conditioning humming. Ma, please, I have worked here for 12 years. I have given everything to this company. I have a wife, 2 children, a mortgage. And the junior staff you shout at every day, do they not also have families? Do they not also have dignity? Adaeze walked slowly toward the front of the room. Her simple rubber slippers made soft sounds on the polished floor. Mr. Adaeze, how many complaints have been filed against Mr. Tobenna in the past year? Adaeze swallowed hard. 14 official complaints, Ma. About verbal abuse, favoritism, and creating a hostile work environment. But they were all dismissed because Mr. Tobenna produces good numbers for the company. Good numbers, Adaeze repeated softly. She turned to face Tobenna directly. You produce good numbers because you squeeze your workers like oranges. You push them until they break, and then you hire new ones. That is not management. That is cruelty disguised as efficiency. Tobenna fell to his knees. Please, Ma. I am begging you. I will change. I will do better. Give me one chance. I gave you a chance, Adaeze said quietly. I stood in this room for 10 full minutes before you even noticed me. Then, when you did notice me, you had another chance, a chance to treat a stranger with basic respect. You failed both tests. She turned to address the entire room. Let me be very clear to everyone here. I did not come to Goldcrest Industries to make friends. 2 months had passed since that unforgettable morning in Conference Room B. The story of what happened had spread through Goldcrest Industries like wildfire, then beyond, to other companies, to social media, to dinner table conversations across Lagos. Adaeze stood in her new office on the 20th floor, looking out at the sprawling city below. Victoria Island stretched out in the distance, its towers gleaming in the afternoon sun. But her mind was not on the view. It was on the transformation happening within these walls. A soft knock interrupted her thoughts.
"Come in," she called.
Tobenna entered, wearing a simple work uniform instead of his former expensive suits. His face looked different now, humbler, with lines of stress, but also something new. Something that might have been wisdom. "Ma, you asked to see me?" "Yes, Tobenna. Sit down, please." Adaeze gestured to the chair across from her desk. "Your 6-month probation period is actually not complete yet, but I wanted to speak with you. How has it been, working on the production floor?" Tobenna sat carefully, his hands clasped together.
"Difficult, Ma."
"Very difficult. The first week, nobody would even speak to me. They remembered how I treated them. I heard people laughing behind my back. Some workers refused to take instructions from me. And how did that make you feel? Like I was nothing. Like I did not matter." He paused, then looked up at her. "Like I made them feel for 12 years. Adaeze nodded slowly. "Go on." "But then something changed. There was this young man, Emeka, who I used to shout at every single day. He worked slowly and I thought he was just lazy. One day on the floor, I saw him struggling with a machine. Instead of walking away like the others, I helped him. We talked. Ma, I learned that Emeka takes night classes at the University of Lagos. He works slowly because he is exhausted, but he never complains because he needs this job to pay his school fees." Tobenna's voice grew thick with emotion. "I have been working beside people whose names I never even bothered to learn. Kayamika from accounting? Her mother has cancer, and she sends half her salary home for treatment. Ifani supports 4 younger siblings. These are not just workers, Ma. They are people with dreams, with struggles, with families who depend on them. And you never saw that before?"
"No, Ma."
"I only saw numbers on spreadsheets and production targets. I thought being tough made me a strong manager. But I was just a bully in expensive clothes." Adaeze walked around her desk and sat in the chair beside him, not across from him. "Tobenna, do you know why I gave you a second chance that day?" He shook his head. "Because I saw something in your eyes when you were begging. Not just fear of losing your job, I saw genuine confusion. You truly did not understand what you had done wrong. You had been rewarded for that behavior for so long that you thought it was correct. The company made you that way." She leaned forward. "But the company is changing now. In the past 2 months, we have implemented new policies. Anonymous complaint systems. Mandatory respect training for all managers. Promotion based not just on numbers but on how people treat their teams. And you know what? Productivity has increased by 18%. Employee satisfaction is up. We have not lost a single major client." Tobenna looked amazed. "How is that possible?" "Because people work better when they are treated like human beings, not machines. It is not complicated, Tobenna. It is just common sense wrapped in basic decency." Another knock on the door. Adaeze entered with a folder. "Ma, sorry to interrupt. These are the quarterly reports you requested." "Thank you, Adaeze. Before you go, I want you to witness something." She turned back to Tobenna. "I am ending your probation early. You have shown genuine change, genuine remorse, and genuine growth. You are reinstated as a manager, but not operations manager. You will be the new training manager for leadership and workplace culture." Tobenna's eyes filled with tears. "Ma, I do not deserve." "You are right. You do not deserve it. But leadership is not about what we deserve. It is about what we do with the chances we are given. You will train every new manager in this company. You will teach them what you learned the hard way. You will make sure that what happened in that conference room never happens again." "Yes, Ma. I promise you. I will not let you down." After Tobenna left, practically floating with gratitude, Adaeze returned to her window. Her phone buzzed with a message from her daughter Chidinma. Mama, I saw the viral video someone posted about what you did. I am so proud of you. You showed